Hello, everybody. Glad you're with us here. Kicking off a brand new week, Monday, with Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Things look a little more familiar here today as I am in Studio B, adjacent to network control. And Barry looks to be, well, not in a hotel room today.
Yes. This is what my hair looks like. I'm not wearing a ball cap. And the lighting is good, so I don't have to wear, glasses or anything like that. I'm back home. After a week and a half.
Did your wife recognize you?
Well, she hadn't seen me yet because I got to bed at 3:30 in the morning, and and she's in the other bedroom because but she's probably watching right now. I almost, we got in, bus came in about 3:15 or so to the Troy campus after the Trojans win the series at James Madison, drove all the way back from Harrisonburg yesterday, got in my car, my Ford Edge, started right up. Okay, hadn't been driven in a week and a half, absolutely good. I'm thinking, all right, getting home, okay, I think I know how to do that. It is a long trip, longest I've ever been on, for 12 days, as it turns out. But glad to be back. It was a successful trip for Troy. And to be honest, it was a long time. But I got to issue a thank you for making the trip seem shorter, at least by a little bit, for the bunker right in front of the green on 18.
Oh, wow.
Because Rory found it, and that meant we had a little bit more golf to watch on the TVs, on the bus. It was funny. It was going by pretty quickly. We got on the bus, and it was still, I think Roy was on 6 or something like that. And we're watching. We just won the game. Everything was great and everything. And what, John? He got up 5, right?
Yeah, at one time, sure.
In that round,
was up 2 leading the day, and then he was even after the first hole. It was a roller coaster ride, to say the least.
He had, 2 double bogeys in the round?
I think I heard Jim Nance said Craig Stadler had 3 double bogeys the year he won it, and McElroy surpassed that. I believe he had 4 double bogeys throughout the tournament and won it.
And, and he was doing well then. You should hear the reaction with 35 college-age student athletes in there when we're watching, and Nance was doing great and everything, and all time, he's going to do it, and then, boom, in the water. Everybody in the bus was like, oh, Rory, Rory. It was half Rory. I don't know if it was half Rory, half Justin Rose, or it was simply half Rory, half not Rory.
Yeah. I got the sense that, and I think I've said it before, I think Jim Nance and Trevor Immelman and Dottie Pepper and that whole crew do a really good job. They're very enjoyable and fun to listen to. But I did get the sense they were kind of rooting for Rory. And I get it. Grand Slam. He never won the green jacket. The Masters Championship would round up those 4 majors, and he would be in a very elite group of golfers that have won all 4 major tournaments. But I did kind of get the sense that they were rooting for him. And when he hit the wedge into the creek on 13, when it came up short, you mentioned the wedge shot into 18 into the bunker. His wedge play kind of left him a little bit yesterday, but he made it up in so many other ways. His tee balls were just phenomenal, just hitting bombs all day. Made some crucial putts as well. Missed a few. He had one. I believe it was on one of the latter holes coming in. He had one slide by, but really what I got the most out of it, just his emotion after the win, yet that gauntlet of fans that he walked through after being congratulated by his wife and his daughter and some of his other closest associates. That was, and then the things he said about his parents, looking forward to going to see him next week. And I thought that was nice. That was a nice touch.
I don't want to take away from that because it was nice. I am going to gloss over John's assertion, what seems like John's assertion, that CBS will air a sporting event and feels like they root for one entity over another.
You know,
That happened with CBS. Has anybody ever
Has
got that
that-
sense in another sporting event that CBS may carry or used to carry for years, where it felt like the announcers were, I don't know, rooting for somebody to win over somebody else? That's
It's interesting you
odd.
say that, because as I was listening, I said to myself, Self,
Well,
I have never heard CBS talk like this before. This is a first.
This
I've
is
never, yeah.
just blatant rooting for one entity over
Huh.
another. But I agree with you about the presentation. It was great theater. I love golf. I don't love playing it, but I love watching it when it's like that. I mean, high drama. Again, 35 college age student athletes, bunch of coaches and me and blah, blah, blah in the bus. And they were already beginning. Nance was already going into young lad from Northern Ireland.
Yes.
Cinderella story.
A tradition unlike none other.
Yeah, trying for the 11th time to win that elusive career Grand Slam. Here
And
he
I thought that
comes,
was
up
interesting.
18 and possibly into history. And it was all set up perfectly. And then funk.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting about that, they showed, Sam Snead, Ben Hogan only took them once. Tiger.
Gene Sarazen only took
Gene
him like 3
Sarazen.
times or something.
Nicholas Tiger 3 times. But
Yeah.
as you mentioned, Rory 11. But there again, I'm sure he's thinking, don't care how many times it took. I'm in a very elite group with those golfers.
Yeah.
Winning the Grand Slam. And yeah, I think the theater, the production, I've said it before. I mean, this will be the largest audience for a golf tournament all year long. Females enjoy watching the Masters. I know my wife enjoyed it. They just, the way they present it, it's the Jim Nance, all the commentators, the pictures that you see, the music that's playing, the beauty of Augusta. And then, of course, some of the shots. I mean, there again, I mean, they couldn't have asked for a better start. McIlroy gives it back up. They're tied after the second hole. DeChambeau takes the lead. McIlroy gets it back. DeChambeau starts choking. He's hitting the gas pipe. I mean, it's just, he can't get anything going. Then McIlroy hits it in the water on 13. And, I mean, Nance is about to go. He's about to jump out of the booth going, how do you do that?
How do you do that?
I
Yeah.
thought the same thing. How do you do that?
Clear the water, whatever club you need.
Yeah. And DeChambeau hitting it in the water on 11. There again, I heard Brandel Chambly talk about this early in the week. He has got to be the best historian of golf. I mean, he can reel off more golf history stats.
Brandel
Chambly.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
He's good.
But he talked about Hogan making the comment, you always hit it right on 11. You never want, you don't even want to hit the green. I hit it right, chip up, make my 4, and walk to 12.
And move on. Yeah. I remember him telling that story, and I can't visualize the whole, like probably you can and a lot of others can, but if Ben Hogan is saying it, you better give it some credibility. But, he hits, we had a couple, mostly the players were anti-Rory, which surprises me. I guess they kind of like, they're the ones that kind of like seeing, the skateboarder spill on on trying a flip or something like that.
I wondered, Barry, I got the sense that the crowd just was really pulling for Rory to win the Grand Slam. I mean, I think Justin Rose, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he seems like an okay guy. And I mean, you got to give Rose credit. I mean, he's got the first round lead. I mean, he shoots like 74-5 one on Friday or Saturday, and then he's in a playoff. I'm thinking, man, you're talking about that could have folded up, a guy that could have just folded up shop, but this guy grind and played well and got himself back in a position. So, you got to respect that. I think the fans certainly did, but I think it was all about Rory just finally capturing that Grand Slam.
And it was Rory fighting Rory. I thought it was interesting that CBS did show a few shots after Justin Rose's round, which ended 2-3 holes before McIlroy's did, and he's over on the practice green hitting shots, and I'm thinking, come on, what is he doing? Give me a break. He ain't gonna play in a playoff. And then Rory coming to 18, hitting the shot in the bunker, but coming out with a decent save. Okay, this putt, and Jim would already, this is leading to to the green jacket and everything, and he misses it. Oh, see, we had actually, the timing was amazing. We had actually stopped to go eat dinner, and nobody was leaving the bus. We wanted to watch a playoff. You can admit it out there. You don't have to admit it to us, but you can admit it to yourself. When he missed that putt, you guys thought he was done in the playoff, right? You thought that was it for Rory, because we've seen it again, right? We've seen it before, right, John? I mean,
sure.
We've seen it before where mentally everybody was agreeing, oh, Rory's in the tank. Now he is cooked. There's no chance. And then first playoff hole, he looked solid as a rock.
I tell you what I thought about, Barry, when I saw him miss that putt. And as they were going to the playoff, they showed a screen of the last, 5 or 6 playoffs. It's been a while since they had a playoff at Augusta, but they were showing the playoffs from the past. And one of the playoffs, I was there. It was actually the first time I ever attended the Masters. And they showed this shot as well. They had a above ground shot of 18 and 10, and they were showing the patrons kind of lining up. And Nance made the comment, well, look how many people are already on both sides of the 10th fairway, thinking they're going to tie 18, and then 10 would have been the next hole. And my first year, there was a playoff, and I made that decision, and I ran to 10 green out there. I thought, well, they're going to go to 10. I just was hoping they would. I was right up against the rope, and that's the year that Scott Hoke missed a putt the length of a ruler, and Nick Faldo beat him in a playoff. Scott Hoke, he was a ruler away from winning a green jacket and
did not do it.
Did not even touch the cup.
I wondered about this. I was talking with a couple of the players, whenever he finally made the putt for bogey on 18, they're heading to the playoff. And what's this like? And they play, it's sudden death, but they only play 10 and 18. And they go back and forth and back and forth. And the guy says, oh, that's screwed up. Well, why in the world that? And it's because of what John's talking about. They want the people there. They don't want them running like a mob, like a gallery, like a riot from the first green to the second tee, or from the second green to the third tee or whatever like that. They don't want that. They want you to get situated, get there, be orderly, be set up. And it turns out they only needed that one hole. And,
I'm with, we've talked about this before about, what do you prefer in overtime? In football, basketball, golf, whatever it may be. Right. Playing an extra round on Monday, as they've done in the U.S. Open, that you can get a guy that's, 6 shots ahead and he's on the 13th green. You're going, okay, enough already. This is over. The sudden death is very nerve-wracking and exciting. The 3-hole, what is it? 3-hole aggregate. Is that the right word? Is that the word you
What
use?
Is that? That's the aggregate. Is that
so? You say you play the first hole and one guy makes a 4 and the next guy makes a 5. You go to 2. You flip it. The other guy makes a 4 and the other guy makes a 5. So you're tied going into the third hole, which would be the last hole. But it's basically just a 3-hole tournament.
It loses something.
Yeah.
The Monday thing. The Monday thing's the worst. Worst. Keep them out there, Yeah.
Monday's terrible. I'm with you there. I don't, unless it's a rain delay or something like that. But yeah, it was, the shot that Rory hits into 18 on the playoff. Whoa. You kidding me? Just unbelievable. And that was a lot of pressure. And there again, Justin Rose finishes out. Some of these guys go, no, I'm marking it. No, look. Be a sportsman, finish it out. Let Rory have his moment in the sun. I thought that was very classy. Most people do it. I've seen some that don't. But nonetheless, just it was great. I tell you another thing I like, Barry. The pin location on 16 yesterday. It's always up there, by that bunker close to the water where the guys can hit it up on that. top shelf when it rolls down, and there's always a lot of drama, and they always roll a little close. The pin yesterday was up back right where it was when Nicklaus won. It was the 50th anniversary of one of Nicklaus's Masters championships, and they put it back there just as a, to honor Nicklaus. That's where the pin was 50 years ago. I thought, that's a nice touch. I mean, everybody's expecting it to be in the traditional Sunday location. They put it over there to honor Jack. I thought that was nice.
Honor him? Yeah. Man, I thought we were having a great segment, and then they come up with a gimmick like that. In honor of Nicklaus, we'll put a hole in the earth.
Oh, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of the, Hogan Bridge, Palmer Bridge.
Means a whole lot that you got the greenskeeper out there with that post hole digger and put it right there.
Yeah, it was that's Sandy McFetish, the greenskeeper over there.
Yeah, who's the guy in charge of keeping the golfers.
Yeah. All right, so if you got any Masters comments, we'd love to hear what you think. If you were there at Augusta National, I know a lot of people that were able to get over there one of the days or a couple, your thoughts about it, or if you watched the broadcast, which, Barry, I got to admit, watched some early action on Paramount Plus. I mean, I had to hit a lot of buttons and jump through some hoops, but it was nice having the added bonus coverage on Paramount Plus over the weekend, which was nice. It was also nice to see Kelly Tillman again, former Golf Channel commentator.
I didn't see her.
She's on CBS Sports Network. It was nice to see her back at Augusta as well. So we'd love to talk about that. Also, our man Casino Greg wants to know, hey, did anybody go to these 8A games? And if you did, what'd you see? What'd you like? What'd you think about it? I'd like to know that too.
Probably the second most frequent thing I saw on Twitter. And I'm on the bus. I'm bored. I'm usually reading a book in there, but I'm checking. Most of it's Masters. The second most thing, people with tweets showing Alabama's A-Day crowd that year. They got 92,000. And Alabama's A-Day crowd on Saturday, which I agree with Casino Greg, couldn't have been more than 15. We'll talk about that.
I haven't seen a number. That's interesting.
I haven't seen it either, but it was not a lot. Same thing at Auburn. That's where we are right now.
Yeah, and there's somewhere else we're going to in college athletics. I want to talk about that when we return as well. Some other big news that's shaking some things up in the world of college athletics. We'll get into that. Our man Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, is going to join us at the top of the next hour. He's had some travel issues over the last couple of weeks. I hope he's not stuck on a tarmac somewhere and can't touch base with us today, but I think he'll be with us as well. Also, your chats on our River Region Straw chat line. Get in on that right now. John, Kirk, Ty, Getty
Lee.
Casino Greg. Appreciate you guys getting in early today. Of course, Mark Reed's Exquisite Jewelry email inbox, Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. We got a lot going on today. Looking forward to getting the party started here.
My man Theotis, he's like one of those guys you see in some of those mob movies when they're trying to, we're looking for a Theotis, a.k.a. Getty Lee, a.k.a. Immortan Joan, also known as Freddie the Fish, Freddie two times, that's him.
Yeah.
It is underway. It's our Monday show. I'm in my home studio. Hallelujah. John's in Studio B in association with Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Spring into savings at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, America's best-selling truck, the F-150. You can get every new 2024 at 2.9% APR for 72 months. Having an F-150 Lightning up to $15,000 off plus 0% for 75 months. The ever-popular Ford Bronco Sport as low as $25,990. The Ford Explorer, it started the SUV craze. An all-wheel drive with leather as low as $33,990. That's up to $8,000 off. $15,000 off Ford Expeditions. And what about the Ford Mustang? Starting as low as $29,990. And the all-new Ford Mavericks starting as low as $23,990 and no payment for 90 days. And don't forget about Stivers Ford's mobile service. Get serviced at your home or work anywhere near the River Region. It's all at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where price sells cars.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the River region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. Riverbank and Trust.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 21 minutes past the hour on this Monday. So glad you're with us here today. You know, obviously a lot of things have been changing in the world of sports. We've talked about it a lot. I think with basketball success, it's had a lot to do with it as well. But just spring football games, 8A games, not as much buzz, not as much excitement about it, not as much news. I didn't really hear a lot about what happened at Auburn or Tuscaloosa, and I think the coaches kind of like it that way. But Barry, tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow's tax day, Wednesday, I believe it is, on the 16th.
I got mine done a long time ago.
That's when the portal opens.
Dun, dun, dun.
Portal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you're already starting to see some guys make the announcement that they're about to go into the portal.
Yep.
Nobody can officially go in until tomorrow, but you're starting to see guys make the announcement, and several of them all around the country, and don't get ahead of me on this, and are quitting spring practice.
Oh, yeah.
They're not waiting until after spring practice. They're looking right now out there, and they're getting second-team reps behind a true freshman or a redshirt freshman. They're thinking, ain't no future in this, and they're quitting, and they're going to try somewhere else, and good luck with it. This is the world we live in now.
Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it. It is. I think spring, you got to go through it. Some of the higher, Ryan Williams didn't participate. I don't know. Why would he? We know what he can do. I've always wondered about that.
Well, Auburn's trying to get people in. Their baseball team had a huge sweep against LSU, had 19,000 fans there for 3 games in baseball. I don't think they had 19,000 fans for a day, which is saying something because, I mean, who are the 2 biggest transfer buzz guys for Auburn coming in? Jackson Arnold, quarterback transferring in from Oklahoma. Eric Singleton, transfer coming in from Georgia Tech, wide receiver. Neither of them played. Neither of them were out there. What are you going to find out? Oh, Deuce Knight threw a couple of touchdown passes. Looked pretty good. Threw an interception late. Shouldn't have done. What is there to really sink your teeth into?
Barry, if you're an Auburn fan, an Auburn football fan, looking for some positive news, looking for some sunshine pumping, looking for some body get, I suggest you get a cup of coffee and read Philip Marshall's column today.
Philip,
I'm telling you. Wide receivers, wow. Defense, wow. I mean, I'm feeling so. I got to reevaluate my pick for the fall after reading that.
Oh, it's not just that. Hugh Freeze saying that he has never been a part of such a positive spring practice before. As far as staying power goes in terms of benefit to the program, probably the biggest positive coming out of Auburn's A-Day are all the recruits they had there. Troy's the same way. Troy, they had their T-Day on Saturday, and they had a jillion recruits there. Of course, they had a lot of other stuff, but it was like what we're talking about with the A-Day games at Auburn and Alabama. A lot of drills, some 7-on-7. And I don't know really how much you can really tell from 7-on-7. I know you can tell arm strength, maybe a little bit about accuracy. But as John and I have told you for years, all that's great. You know who was good at 7-on-7 drills? Matt Corral. Now he's playing for the Birmingham Stallions. You know who the guys who are good on 7-on-7 that are really, wow, hey, look at that guy. Yeah, you wait till he gets popped in the mouth once. You know, you wait until he has to step up in the pocket and make a decision about whether he's going to run or if he's going to throw on the run when you got a 295-pound D tackle steaming after you. 7-on-7, you can stand back there, you know, you're clean and clear. I don't get a lot out of it. That's mostly for the fans, just the ooh and ah, look at that pass. But it's not real football.
No, heck no, not at all. So, yeah, you don't get a lot out of spring. I never really thought you did anyway, but now you certainly don't. But, Barry, as I mentioned, with the transfer portal opening later this week, watch out. That's what I got my eye on. I want to know who's jumping ship, who wants to go somewhere different because, man, it is just, now you've gone through spring. You kind of know, man, I ain't playing. I'm on the, I'm second, third team. This isn't what I want. What? Loyalty to this school? I don't care. So what? I have no loyalty whatsoever to this school. I wanted to come play football. I wanted to make some money. It didn't working out. So I'm going to go somewhere else. The big news over the weekend, the quarterback at Tennessee, second, third, fourth time he's trying to negotiate for some more money. To Tennessee's credit, they said, hit the road, Jack, and don't come back. Had enough. Not dealing with you anymore.
Yeah.
And I get it. I commend Tennessee for doing that, but I don't blame this kid. I mean, based on the way that things are set up right now, and they're completely out of whack, I'd probably do it too. I mean, hey, you got no in your pocket. You might as well keep asking.
I don't get some of the vitriol nationally about Nico Iamaleava. Because he's working within the system. Is he greedy? You make a case for that. Now, I do have some questions. I mean, if I have a contract, and I have to explain to John every once in a while from our previous employment together, a contract is something that you sign at the bottom, clearly dictating terms and all that.
You ever heard the term holdout? When I thought of contracts, I thought of holdout.
But is there a contract with him? I mean, is that a contract? He was evidently the things say, he was going to get paid around $2 million. He wanted $4 million. Yeah, he wasn't going to play unless he got $4 million. They can't hold him to anything, can they? Because there's
Bear, that's a great point.
Contract.
And Hugh Freeze made this statement years ago, and I totally agree. Hey, we need to have some type of contract here. If we're going to commit to you, you've got to commit to us, and I get that. If we're going to pay you millions of dollars, you just can't be jumping ship 6 to 8, 10 months later. And certainly that's another one of these. Another aspect of what's going on, you've got to have some security on both sides there. Right. So no. And there again, I don't blame. I mean, I'm surprised more athletes aren't doing what this kid's doing.
To that level. And here's a couple of things about it. He's not doing anything illegal. I don't know that, if I was in his situation at his age, I wouldn't do the same thing, although I'm a believer in keeping the word that you've given. But on the other side of it, Tennessee's ticked off. They've all those people who bought the Nico Iamaleava jerseys with his name on the back now have taped over it, and it says "I am a leaver" or "I am a loser" on the back of it because they're standing on principle. He just can't do that. Not in spring practice. Tennessee did the right thing, and I think they did. No one player is bigger than the program. But you know what? You know what they're going to do? They're looking for another transfer quarterback.
Sure they are.
No, and he's going to try to come in, and he's going to try to replace Nico. And you know what? They're going to pay him a lot of money.
So, Barry, this is the first thing I thought of. And I don't want everybody getting crazy and screaming and hollering and, cussing, saying bad things about me when I mention this. But that's exactly what I thought about. And with that portal opening, I believe it's Wednesday, the 16th, let's just take a hypothetical here. Alabama's got 3 quarterbacks. Only one of them's going to play. And the other 2 that aren't going to play think pretty highly of themselves, and they're thinking, man, I want to go play. Somebody's giving me an opportunity a lot quicker than I'm getting right now. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I need a little bit more maturity. Maybe I need to figure out the game at this speed, at this level. But there's somebody willing to pay me.
And I can learn all those things, learn the game at this speed, at this level, and all of that by actually playing.
So you let somebody like Tennessee snag up Austin Mack or Keon Russell.
Ty Simpson's from Tennessee.
Yeah, he's from Tennessee. Or somebody like Texas that allegedly has all this money, and they want to bring back one of their home state products, a kid that's Alabama's highest rated recruit ever. I mean, that is mind-boggling. And they're going, hey, man, why don't you come back home? And this is what we're going to pay you. Or and I've heard the stories that people have come after Ryan Williams. I can't imagine what Alabama's paying him to keep him in Tuscaloosa. But how can you sustain that? How can you keep a large group of players happy by paying them what they want and what their handlers want?
Right.
I know that was the case in Knoxville. And then keep the other 60-odd players happy too.
Now,
because you can't pay all of them what you're paying your superstars. And certainly teams like Alabama, they can't do it. I know Bama fan doesn't want to hear it, but they can't keep up with some of these other schools that have bottomless pits.
It's got to end. It's not sustainable. People ask, why is he leaving now? Well, this is when he has the most leverage.
Sure.
He's a returning quarterback. He didn't exactly blow me away. I mean, he ain't, the next coming of Johnny Football or anything. But this is when he has the most leverage. Hey, I'm about to wrap up spring. You're looking at me for the fall. How much are you looking at me for the fall? What's it worth to you? He could have gone after the season, and, maybe there were some other places that he could have gone to that would have been set up better. But again, he ain't worried about where he's going to and the situation he's going to. He's worried about how much are you going to pay me? I could go to USC and maybe win the starting job there, close to the home. But let me tell you, I could go to Prairie View if they pay me more than USC is going to pay me or Tennessee is going to pay me or anything like that. So that's the
I get it.
That's what's going to happen now with a lot of other guys at this time of the year. And John's right. They're testing the market every chance they get. Not every season, every 3 months.
I mean, Barry, you mentioned contracts. I mean, about every year I'd roll down to the suits at the end of the hall and go, hey, I need more money. I always ask. I had no in my pocket. That's usually the answer I got most of the time. But, hey, I still was going to ask him, and I don't blame this quarterback for doing it either under the system that that we're under now. And that's why I kind of get the sense after all this happened over the weekend, reading what some of the national analysts have to say about it, some of the tweets and that they threw out there on social media, the normal football guys. Joel Klatt, for one, was very had a big comment about it as well. I think this might have been what, people are like, okay, that's enough. We've had it. This is so screwed up. The system that we're living under is not sustainable. We can't do it. I mean, the bottom is falling out. We have got to have some structure. I get the sense that maybe this is what pushed them over the edge. I hope it is.
This week they're supposed to come up or not with that house settlement, probably getting us started getting some guardrails there. But yeah, now, and again, this week is a big week in a couple of those senses. Number one, hopefully we'll get the house settlement, which affects obviously not just football, but all college athletics, who's all dealing with this, even some of the Olympic sports. And number two, tomorrow's the transfer portal. You are going to have whatever school you root for. at whatever level, Auburn, Alabama, Troy, LSU, whatever, you're going to have some guys within the next week who are going to shock you that they are in the portal. I loved that guy. I know he loves Baton Rouge. I mean, that guy has been, all in on Ole Miss for years. He's out. He's gone. You know why? Because he's going to try to make more money elsewhere. It's going to happen to your team more than once in this upcoming week.
I don't know. I haven't heard any rumblings from Auburn or Alabama of who some guys, really more recognizable guys. I mean, I'm sure there are going to be some guys that are going to hit the portal. You're going to go, who?
Yeah, because they can't get up the depth chart.
Yeah, but I think you're going to probably hear some name guys as well. I mean, I got to tell you, if Keelan Russell is all he's cracked up to be, and I'm hearing some great things about this young man, highest recruit ever at Alabama. Austin Mack's been through this system with Ryan Grubb. He knows what's expected. Ty Simpson, everybody knows he's waited his turn, and I get it. But, waiting your turn doesn't win football games. And Kalen DeBoer's got to win. And I know, hey, man, this kid's really busted his ass, and we owe it to him. No, you don't. You owe it to W's and L's, and you better have more W's than you have L's, or you'll be looking for a new job yourself.
Yeah, but if you all of a sudden decide, hey, I'm riding with this guy, that's a good thing, because you may be riding out the door with him if he doesn't win football games.
And Barry, look, I hope they do it. But if they can keep all three of those guys on the roster, man, I'll be impressed.
Salute. I don't think they can, or anybody can. That's anybody out there. Glad you're along with us here as we, a little bit later on, Gern's 777 Victoryland Topic Wheel coming up in about 25 minutes or so. Our Moneyline Magician. Going to get some thoughts from Josh Harris also about the Masters.
Barry, I was at a wedding reception on Saturday night. One of my closest friend's sons got married on Saturday. Beautiful reception up at Lake Martin. And I had a young gentleman. He was actually a groomsman in the wedding. Came up to me at the wedding. Maybe we were standing in line. I was probably near the bar. I mean, if you're going to find me, I'm probably near the bar. So
standing in line, though?
Well,
it's not like you.
One. No, not a long one at all. No. I kind of worked my way over to the side a little bit, away from the crowd. And this young man came up to me and said, "Hey, man, loving you, Josh Harris on Mondays. Love that guy." I went, "Hey, man, I appreciate that. I'll let him know today. Thank you for bringing that up." Man, I watch you guys. That guy, young man's from Birmingham, says, "Man, I watch you guys every day." I said, "Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it."
We're worldwide.
Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. It's very important. Look, when you hit subscribe, you're not paying for anything. We just send you out notifications of stuff we've got going on here. So hit the subscribe, hit the like button. I think, Barry, they say it's good for the algorithm. I'm not sure what that is, but that's what they say.
That means that it makes it easier and easier for you to find us when you click on your subscriptions or something like that. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Get some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
Alrighty, welcome back in, everybody. About 19 minutes to the top of the hour here on a Monday. Just checking out the chat room here with Longshore and McKnight. Is this what we've come to early in the year from our man John? And I say that, one of our Braves fans out there, I'm trying to find more, talking about Auburn's great weekend in baseball, beat third-ranked LSU, blah, blah, blah.
Swept them.
John, don't we normally talk about the Braves with you? I mean,
no, don't let him steer you. Don't let him pull you down into his little canal here.
I was just kind of curious. When I saw that, I went, oh, wow, okay. We have someone post what we are going to kind of a lineup of the show every day. It's on Instagram and other social media outlets that you can check out. Our Facebook page, it kind of gives you a rundown of what we've got planned and scheduled for the day's show. And I noticed the way that they labeled
I noticed that too.
Our Braves segment. I thought that was interesting.
How the Braves do.
It's almost like
Sometimes it's like, what was it the other day? I looked, I thought, wait a minute. Can the Braves win a series? Not can the Braves win the series. It's can they win any series? Name one. In August, can they win a series? So I did notice kind of that aspect of it, but don't let them get you off your path. The Auburn Tigers sweep LSU in Auburn. Wow. Huge crowds.
Woo.
All three games there. Probably more people at those games than there were at A-Day at Auburn. And I'm with Casino Greg. How many of you did go? It's a different, and how much did you get out of it? It's not football, really. It's a close approximation. It's a facsimile, but it's not real football. But then again, was it ever really?
No, it wasn't. If you had me as one of the guest coaches at a spring game 15 years ago,
they're not taking it serious.
They're not taking it very seriously.
They did not bring John to be a celebrity guest coach because of his highbrow, high-level football knowledge, although it's up there. They brought him there for name recognition.
I guess.
They brought him there for all the eyeballs that he would draw on the sidelines, screaming at the referee. He was holding over and over.
I would say, Barry, they did it to sell more tickets, but you got in free. So, I mean, wow.
Yeah, so you get what you pay for.
But
we do hear this on our River Region Strong Chat line. Call up Kenny at 669.
How did the Braves do against the Rays? I'm just curious. They still have the worst record in the league?
Yesterday, well, we will not. Yesterday's yesterday. Yesterday's gone.
Wasn't that a foreigner song?
That was yesterday. And the world in my Tampa
gone.
Bay ends up winning against Atlanta
8-3.
yesterday, 8-3. I don't know what the deal is with Cy Young Award winner Chris Sale for Atlanta, but he's been pretty bad in his first
Well,
couple
Barry, I
of
got some good
starts.
news for you.
But they did beat the Rays on Saturday.
I got some
5-4.
good news for you. There is a team in Major League Baseball. The Colorado Rockies have a worse record than the Braves do.
Yes, they do. They're bad.
When do the Braves play the Rockies? That should be a good match, a good series. I will say
terrible.
this.
You're kidding me. It's going to be awful.
I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
We might have to get Brian Reynolds to check in on Robbie. Since baseball season started, Robbie's participation in the show via the chat room has been slim, to say the least. He had some NCAA tournament basketball chats. How long? Baseball season's been what? We're 2 weeks into it?
2 weeks.
Robbie is yet to chat about Major League Baseball.
The problem is
line.
encapsulated in two numbers, 4 and 11, which is the Braves' record right now.
And
they get over 500. Let's just say they win 4 or 5 in a row.
Sure.
Guaranteed. Right there.
Uh-huh.
Robbie from the whole guaranteed.
I'm not going to use this as an excuse. I'm just pointing it out. But to my eye, and I'm not a baseball aficionado, I think I can say that confidently.
I think you'd have a lot of people agree.
It, to me, Barry, seems like the Braves, kind of like you have lately, been on the road a lot. San Diego, LA,
my gosh.
Tampa,
LA just started the year. Yeah.
And now they're in Toronto. This is their 4th straight series on the road.
Well,
I don't think they played at home but once.
They have played once at home, and that's part of it. But then again,
so nobody else
not
can
really
use
good.
that as
The
an
Braves
excuse.
the Braves have played 5 games at home, 1 series. They have played 10 games on the road. Braves are 3-2 at home, 1-9 on the road. 1-9 on the road. So, a couple of things here. I agree. Bob from Pike Road's chat. I mean, I agree. What do I know? He says, it appears that Keelan and Austin Mack just aren't ready, which is not surprising. Ty has played really well all spring. Mack should be more advanced, right? I get it. This is just a question. I'm not disagreeing with you. I get it if Keelan Russell's not ready. I understand that. But why not? Why isn't Austin Mack? He's been in that system more than anybody
I'm
else
with you.
has. He's got more experience. Why is he not ready?
Familiar with Ryan Grubb, DeBoer? I'm with you.
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting. You know, I love to try to read between the lines.
He's good at it.
Chris Lowe of ESPN, I don't know if ESPN's got some deal with the SEC to get access above and beyond what everybody else gets. I mean, obviously ESPN's paying a ton of money to broadcast these games.
Yep.
College Game Day shows up. The SEC is prominently featured. I'm sure people like Philip don't really like the fact that some guy from out of state gets all the juicy scoop and the big nuggets. He interviewed Hugh Freeze one-on-one and had some interesting stuff.
Meanwhile, when Philip asks Freeze a question, this is always Freeze's response. I'm sorry? Who's that? Who? Philip, is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, up at the top of the M. Yeah.
Yeah. But Lowe had a tweet, I believe. He wrote a nice article about the second season under Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, but he talked about the 3 quarterbacks. I thought it was interesting. Said Austin Mack certainly seems to be in a prime position. He's just got to win it, which I thought was interesting. Prime position, really advancing, but he's got to win it. Got to win the team over, got to win the coaches over. Thought that was interesting. Austin Mack seems to be a team favorite, as he put it, that his teammates really like Austin Mack. That's very interesting.
Your teammates liked you.
They did, but they didn't like me enough to let me start a game.
No, that's a coach's decision. I don't know. I think.
Yeah. And that Keelan Russell is the best athlete. I mean, the athletic ability on this young man is off the chart. But he's young. He's raw. I get it. But very impressed with his demeanor, athletic ability. And Barry, there again, like me, I look good on the practice field. Yeah. I look good walking out to practice. I don't think that's the case with this young man from Texas. But I thought it was interesting that, well, maybe Ty Simpson's got a little bit more work to do. Got to own it. Got to win it. Austin Mack, teammates love him. Really gets along well with his teammates. And the freshman phenom, athletic ability just oozing from his pores. You can certainly see it that this kid has got a future.
There was a guy who was a quarterback at Alabama. I think he put his hands in cement on Saturday. That was the same way. Maybe the best athlete on the team. The coaches always said he was the fastest guy on the team.
They didn't ask me.
And people look at him. He had a winning record, won several awards, but they look on him as a failure.
So, Bob, well, you know, I'm real interested to see where he's going to be in the draft there. I mean, a lot of people have told me what happens in the draft really has no reflection of your college career. I mean, just look at Gino Torretta, what he did in the NFL after college.
Look at Dave Craig for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
He went to a college and isn't even a college anymore. And he played for 15 years in the league.
I thought a lot about this because I've been hearing that, well, the transfer portal is going to open up, you know, and now here we are days away. I just have got this feeling they're going to be some big moves, some big news coming out of the portal. I'm not saying so much at Auburn or Alabama,
but
in all of college football. But when you hear Greg Byrne, and I don't know if he's pleading and begging, but other people have phrased it that way. Well, he's texting and tweeting and sending out emails and getting on, the Will Cain show on Fox, and he's talking about how they got to have money and blah, 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 blah. There again, I don't see John Cohen doing that. Maybe you teach his own and people do it different ways. But it would not shock me if you heard, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what would stop Texas from getting into the ear of Keelan Russell's handlers and say, hey, why don't you come home and play for us? And for your effort, we're going to pay you, I don't know, double, triple what you're getting right now.
You know, you're getting a chance if I'm Texas alum, and they're probably, you know, I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised that Alabama signed him because of where he lives. Hey, how things going? If I'm Texas guy, I'm saying, hey, you homesick at all? And you're a long way from home. When was the last time you seen your mama? Really, that long?
So, Barry,
you would think it'd be great if she can come watch you play every weekend and not have to spend, 15 hours traveling and stuff. Golly, wouldn't that sound nice? That'd be good, right?
Yep. Those are probably Nick Saban didn't want to have to deal with. Another reason he probably retired. But is that the shockwave? There again, not saying it's going to happen. Wouldn't shock me if it did. But if that did happen, is that what would really maybe wake Alabama fans up? Would that wake them up and go, wow, wait a minute. That's not supposed to happen to us.
Yeah, well,
is that when they start pulling that wallet out? And that when they start donating to this NIL collective? There again, still don't think it's sustainable to do it that way. But your highest rated recruit ever?
Well,
and he goes back home?
This is just an example. I think it's a good text here from Tobias. He said, what would stop Texas from getting Russell is an SEC player can't transfer to another SEC school in the spring unless he wants to sit out. That's true. That's why Nico Iamaleava probably would have been better suited if he was going to hit the transfer portal, hit it in January when you can do that, but not after spring. In the SEC, it's like a catcher dropping a third strike and throw. So he could. We're just using that as an example.
Sure, yeah, because he's from Texas, but and that's a great point, Tobias. Let's say Baylor. Let's say Texas Tech,
which is throwing around money like crazy right now.
I mean, there again, loyalty. Nah, I don't care.
Wow.
I'll wear the red and black and be a Red Raider if they're going to pay me enough.
Here's what drives.
Look. I said this 30 years ago. 30 years ago. If they pay me enough money, I'll dress up as Albie. I'll walk up and down the sidelines twisting my tail. I'll be up there yelling, body get a kick him in the butt, Big Blue.
Face
money's
paint.
Right? Yes. Walk of Champions or Tiger Walk, whatever they call it. Oh, yeah, I'll be Albing it up with the best of them. If the money's right, Sign me up. Look, as a matter of fact, I got 2 juniors in high school. If Auburn wants to give them both a scholarship, wiggle, war damn eagle, kick him in the butt, big blue. Hey.
I know you've said that before, but it's never happened.
What did they say? Mortimer, money's not everything.
Oh, grow up. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Have you seen the price of tuition these days? Yeah. I get it. Let's take a break. Coming up in just a few minutes, it's our Moneyline magician, our guy Josh Harris. Also going to talk a little Masters with
catch
him.
up with him on. He's been out a couple of weeks, and we got a lot of catching up to do.
Oh, yeah. Maybe some basketball tournament. We got a lot to get to with him. Glad to have you along with us here. Hit the like button, which is right down there. Go to the chat. Put it through in there right over there.
Yep.
He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Here we are at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. Our friend, everybody's friend, Mary Ann is with us. Mary Ann, April is a special month, even more special at Marguerite's.
Definitely. Okay, so it's the first of the month, Barry. What's that birthstone?
It's a diamond, right?
Yes. Winner. It's easy to remember because with April comes baseball season, baseball diamond. We've got diamond month here at Marguerite's, and it is a great time. We are having diamond month to really emphasize all the great diamonds we have in stock. We're doing crazy specials on natural as well as lab created diamonds with solitaire specials, starting out at, this is crazy to believe, $500 for a lab created diamond solitaire. That's insane. Like a 1 carat inner ring. We have diamond studs, diamond tennis necklaces, tennis bracelets. Everything with our diamonds are going to be unmatched, unparalleled prices. And loose stones, again, maybe because it is baseball season and you're watching all of those games that you need to give a little extra something, or that girlfriend that you've been dating for a while needs to get an engagement ring. Well, now is definitely the time to do it because our loose diamonds are on special.
Yeah, if you are thinking about an engagement, here's a pro tip. That may be Marianne's favorite thing to do at Marguerite's, is to help the guys make sure their odds are good with a beautiful diamond for that loved one that they're going to pop the question to, right?
Most definitely. It's great to help. We love helping you. The hardest thing you have to do is walk through the door. Next thing, I mean, honestly, you just say, I need to get engaged. Or between the two of us or the rest of these listeners, I can tell when a guy walks through. They kind of just have that look and they're just walking slow and looking around. And I'm like, need an engagement ring? And they just shake their head. I take it from there. Just get some ideas. White gold, yellow gold, diamonds. We have them. Guys, it's not hard. Honestly, just walk through the door. We can help you.
Yeah, it's not intimidating at all. They have people who would love to help, especially in Diamond Month in April in Marguerite. Yes. Marianne, as always, it's so great to talk with you. What are the hours of operation?
Sure. We're open 7 days a week in the Pepper Tree Shopping Center, 10 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 10 to 5 on Saturday, and noon to 5 on Sunday.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, Pepper Tree Center, next to Chappie's Deli, 8163 Vaughn Road in Montgomery. Thanks very much, Marianne. Great to see you.
Great to see you, too.
All right, back at it, getting close to the top of the hour here on a Monday. Some Masters recap, spring football for what that's worth, wrapping up at Auburn, Troy, and Tuscaloosa. The transfer portal, I think, is going to be real interesting as it opens up the spring portal here in a couple of days. So a lot to touch on here today.
I had forgotten about this. I was doing some reading during the break. I thought I'd covered it all. I didn't realize that. I didn't remember this. Rory had won 4 majors by the time he was 25 years old. I'd forgotten about that. I mean, he sprang onto the scene for a while. He was the next Tiger and everything. 4 majors by the time he was 25, 3 different majors. and he's trying to win the Grand Slam, career Grand Slam. It took him 11 years to win his 5th, and it came on his 17th Masters all in all, which begs the question, what is his legacy? Top 10 golfer of all time now? Top 8?
I would think so. I mean, you win the Grand Slam, you're certainly going to be put at a higher level.
That's like 6, right? 6 people have done the career Grand Slam, right?
I think I got him to Snead, Hogan,
Gene Sarazen, Tiger.
Nicholas, Tiger, and Rory. Is that 6?
That's a pretty dang good bit of company, right? Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. No doubt. I think interesting. Bob has an interesting comment. What would we be saying today? What would the sports world be saying today if Justin Rose had won yesterday?
He says this. Bob from Pike Road says, Rory came close to permanently being called the choke of major championship golf. He's already had been called that a little bit. He is a very lucky guy, no doubt. He was more lucky than good yesterday. I'll agree with every bit of it except that last sentence. He had some bad ones. What did he have? Like 4 double bogeys in the entire tournament. 4.
Yeah.
2 in the final round.
You're scratching your head thinking, what the heck?
Again, what was that shot? What do they call it? Raise Creek?
Yep.
He hit the approach on the playoff hole.
That green is so big on 13. You got a big target there.
Yeah.
The pin's up front. I get it. And you don't, it's all about ball position on that hole. If you're in the back of that green above the hole, it is so fast putting down to that pin location. So getting it close there, having an uphill putt, and there were a few players that did on 13, but it's tough because you're flirting with that creek. But for him to hit a shot that weak, that fat,
right?
You're just not expecting that. But maybe the pressure in the moment was just too big, and he was able to. But I think that's what separates professional golfers, because a lot of them can hit a bad shot and be done with it and move on to the next one.
Which I think is what Bob's point is that, choking in major championship golf. I think a lot of Rory's difficulties were right here, John. I mean, it was in his head. That's why I thought, this is going to do him in. This is going to do him in. Not being able to get up and down on 18 with everything on the line. We've seen it happen with him before. He is cooked. But then he hits a couple of really strong shots on the playoff hole, and he wins it there. So he was good in spots. But, man, he said afterwards, that was really not whenever he made the putt, wins the Masters, it's over. He wins his first 17 tries, and he drops to his knees and then, face to the green, and he is screaming. He said that wasn't a scream of emotion as much as it was of relief.
Yeah.
I thought whenever, he couldn't get it done on 18, that there's no way. There's no way. I thought it took a lot of the mental strength that I didn't think he had on some of the other times when he had this green jacket in his pocket and didn't win it. I thought there was some mental strength there that that I had not seen before from him.
Well, it could have been there again. If he loses, Roy's a choke artist. Roy can't get it done. One thing real quick before Josh Harris joins us today, Barry, I've been talking about this quite a bit. Want to mention it before we get him on. Yesterday as they went to a playoff, my phone dinged and they had instant action on the Masters playoff. Yeah. Rory was minus 135. Justin Rose was plus 120. You can make a wager right then and right there on who's going to win it.
I guess they can probably start talking about that stuff when he's on 17 and Justin Rose is out there hitting practice shots on the practice tee. But how did they do that so quick? I get that you can make a bid quick, but I didn't.
These guys know how to set the numbers. And, Bear, I've been talking about regulated sports wagering for quite some time. There's a lot of unregulated sports wagering out there that hurts a lot of people and, just out of control. But there's a big push, and I'm squarely behind it, in legalizing online sports betting here in the state of Alabama that would protect people against predatory offshore betting sites and generate tens of millions of new tax revenue. Legal online sports betting would generate somewhere between $65 and $90 million in new annual tax revenue for the state of Alabama. Hundreds of thousands of Alabamians are already sports betting right now. That's an understatement. Sending millions of their dollars, potential tax revenue, to predatory offshore betting sites. Why would you do that? Why would you send it to an offshore, unregulated betting site? Unregulated operators do not have to offer responsible gaming services, consumer protections, or age verification. Think about that. Responsible gaming services, consumer protections, and age verifications. You do not get that with unregulated gambling sites. Alabama is losing millions to states like Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi that offer sports wagering. What are we waiting on? What are we waiting for? Folks, contact your elected officials, your legislator, and tell them Alabama needs legalized, regulated sports wagering.
This transcends political party. Look, one of John's great friendships, one of mine too, is with Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed. I don't know if they can disagree more politically than they do, but when I misspoke when we had him on the air last week, and and I actually said thanks to the governor, he's actually the mayor, and he said, "Listen, Barry, if I was the governor for a day, me and Longshore would have a bill to vote on to legalize gambling." It's a cross. Or rather, a nonpartisan issue, John. It seems like everybody feels strongly about it one way or another, but they should at least be able to vote on it.
Yeah. Can we at least vote on it?
Yeah.
But some dirty politician's getting his pocket greased by out-of-state interests that don't want it, and they're doing everything they can to keep their little monopoly happy, but they don't want they just want Alabamians to come over and spend their money. They don't want the state to reap any of the benefit. That to me is ridiculous. Well, all right. So our man, Josh Harris, joining us here today on the program. I know he's been traveling around north of the border. He's been everywhere, but he is back with us today. Glad to see you, Josh.
Thanks for having me. Sorry about missing last week. The one thing we got to fix in this country is our airlines. Goodness gracious, they're all crooks. I was flying Delta. I was hammering away to my friends like, Delta's trash. I can't handle it. They got me on the runway. I'm sweating. I'm in Canada on a plane sweating. Why is this happening? Like, why is it hot on this plane? It's cold outside. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I'm still fired up about it.
That's okay. We have a lot to catch up on, though. That's
I will,
for sure.
I will tell you this, Josh, real quick before we get into the conversation. There were a lot of diverted flights late last week that could not get into Atlanta that ended up here in Montgomery. A couple of them were international flights, and the passengers had to sit on the plane all night. Because of Delta's little snafu. And there again, it's hard to control the weather. But you would have thought they would have known, hey, they don't have customs and immigration in Montgomery. We might need to send those international flights to somewhere that does.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Give him a moment. He's total agreement here. Did you get a chance to watch round 4 of the Masters yesterday?
Absolutely.
Takeaways from it? Were you like the vast majority of the sporting population when Rory either A, hits it into the creek, or hits it into the sand on 18? Did you think, oh, he's done it again? He's doing it. He's Rory being Rory.
Of course, and that's what made it just so much better. It's like, all right, Rory's being Rory, it's again, but no. And then he goes into the bunker, and then he comes out of the bunker, makes the putt. I mean, pretty unbelievable. I mean, it's and as a big PGA guys, I feel like most people are PGA over LIV. I don't know. but I would imagine most people are. It's great to see Rory, who's the face of the PGA, going in and win that tournament and get the Grand Slam. The last thing I wanted to see is somebody from Liv. And I get it. There's money over there, but it's a sellout play, and I love to see the guys that are sticking with the PGA.
The biggest cheer we had on our team bus coming back from Virginia last night was not when Rory, made the putt to win it, but what was it? Was it DeChambeau on 18, just trying to get out of there and get in his car and head home? He hits it out of one bunker, hits the lip and comes back, and he has to hit it again out of that bunker, and then he hits it into another bunker on the other side of the fairway. There's something poetic about that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Take that.
Josh, I think you're right about what you're saying about the PGA, and I think a lot of people, that was one of the other reasons they were behind Rory, because Rory was one of the most vocal players that stood up for the PGA, did not want anything to do with the Liv. He and Tiger were a big force behind staying with the PGA. I understand Tiger was one of the first people to text him to congratulate him after the win yesterday. And I think a lot of people appreciated that. And as I looked at the leaderboard, I noticed some guys, Bruce Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Liv guys, they were way down on that leaderboard.
Yeah, you can probably feel the angst of every single person in that at Augusta, at the Masters, just wanting you to shank every shot. Because I can promise you, the Liv supporters, they might have been there, but that was a PGA crowd, right?
Oh, yeah.
Down in Augusta. So
they interviewed DeChambeau afterwards and said, "What was it like talking with Rory?" And he said he never spoke to me.
Good.
And they were like, "What? You never asked him answered a question?" He said he never said anything to me. He didn't ask me anything. He didn't, nice shot. He said there was nothing from him the entire round. There's a whole lot of people.
The only thing I'd ask Bryson is where does he take his breath in his backswing or forward swing? So he starts thinking about it a little bit more.
And my thought about DeChambeau after he just was leaking oil coming up 18. Gosh, John, he must have hit 500 range balls after that.
Oh,
night.
gee, that guy can pound the range balls. There is no doubt about that. Yeah, it was a great event, great theater, CBS. That was their 70th year, Barry. They've broadcast the Masters 70 years in a row.
Feels like as long as they've done the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, don't you remember some of the ESPN days? Those were pretty good, though. All right, Josh.
That is true. That is true.
I know you had some travel issues, but I was very interested, and I know it's kind of been a couple of weeks, so maybe it's out of sight, out of mind. But Alabama's finish in the NCAA tournament, your thoughts about that?
We finished. I mean, it was a poor finish against Duke. That Duke is, I can't believe they didn't end up winning it all. I'd say we landed where we should have landed. I think that was about average, right? That's a B for the season, right? Maybe not an A, not a C. We're the positive part of it as you look back at it. Sweet 16, Final Four, Elite Eight the year before. Like the last 4 years, we've made it to at least the Sweet 16, then the Elite Eight twice, which we'd never done before, and then the Final Four 1 year. I mean, we're just, as long as we keep Nate Oates, we're in good shape. And the guys that were, we lost some people to the transfer portal. Diabate is going to be a big loss. No, Darren Reed.
Stevenson,
Stevenson. But when you got 10 players that play, and those are probably, let's call it 5, 6, and 7, but they're star players, you're not going to keep those guys around anymore. They're going to go somewhere else, and you're going to have to backfill them with somebody else. You're not going to keep everybody on the team. I saw a crazy they showed all the teams that were left in the I think it was the Elite Eight. And out of all the teams, only 4 of them had more than one player that had come back and was a senior on the team.
I saw that. Yeah.
Was still on the team that started at the college they were at.
And we're still
there.
At
the college that they were at. They finished, which is, and then, it goes to one of the crazier things that just happened was the Nico Maliava at I tried Tennessee. To say his last name. Now, as much as I dislike Tennessee, that is good for them because they just stopped a huge chain reaction, right? By people being able to hold out in college sports, not coming to spring practice and holding out for a better deal, by them saying, we're going to cut ties with you. We're not playing that ball game. That just saved everybody in the country, because the minute that starts, the minute you get college players start holding out, we're in big trouble, because that just, I mean, they're already getting paid. That's not how the NIL is supposed to work. You're not supposed to hold out. You're supposed to use your name, image, likeness to get deals, not get paid from the colleges.
And the one of my Tennessee buddies who covers Tennessee, he said Nico was renowned for some of the NIL stuff he was contracted to do. Autograph signings, public appearances. He was spectacularly renowned for not showing up or showing up late or all that kind of stuff. What really, and you know, this didn't just happen. He didn't just come in one day and said, I'm holding out unless you pay me more money. This has been going on kind of behind the scenes for a little while. What really just point beyond no return, Josh, was when Nico started missing practices. And they said, now you can do all the other stuff and all that, but you are on this team or you are not. And that was that at that point.
And who do you think you are? Like, it's not
he
like
ain't that good.
Right. I mean, he could be good, but it's like, you know, or you can be the next Spencer Rattler that's supposed to be high. You know, now he's still in the NFL, so we'll give it to him. Maybe.
Well, it's the Saints, and that's barely.
Yeah.
Sorry for the jab, Spencer, but you're a good example.
So, Josh, do you think what happened in Knoxville maybe is the last shoe to drop, so to speak, that these college administrators, presidents, athletic directors around the country, some politicians in Washington are thinking, all right, this is over. You know, we can't have athletes coming back 3-4 times, wanting more money. There again, you know, Hugh Freeze proposed months ago, look, we need a little security here as well. If we're going to commit millions to you, you've got to commit an X amount of time to us. So I think with what happened in Knoxville, I'm hoping is kind of going to maybe speed up this process to get it a little bit more organized, unified, and structured.
Yeah, it has to. I think it is very eye-opening, because for a lot, you know, I hadn't been paying too much attention to the NIL and to the off season and all that type of stuff. With got basketball going on, the Masters, everything. Then you hear that, and that's news. Somebody not showing up to practice because they're not getting paid enough. That's news. That opens people's eyes, and that makes it so you've got to talk about it, because it's not that far-fetched that other people are going to start doing it. And once you have a lot of people start doing it, and there's not really a response, right? What are you going to say? You either cut the guy or you play his ball game. So it's what you've got to put something in order of, you get these deals. And the problem is you've got third parties paying them. So the name, those are, it's not like it's the school. So it shouldn't be the school. We know it is, but it shouldn't be, right? So doesn't really make sense. And there's got to be rules put in place, because it's still just a big old goofy game right now.
All right, this is a talking point. I'm not being controversial or contrary or anything like that. But Josh, a couple of minutes ago, you were talking about Alabama basketball and, you know, Elite Eight, couple times in a row, a Final Four. As long as you have Nate Oates, they're going to be fine. But then again, for Alabama fans on the other side, when they ran the immortal quarterback run into the line of scrimmage on 4th down and goal against Michigan in the college football playoff as a 4 seed, didn't make it last year. People were throwing stuff at the TV and kicking their dog and everything, being a Final Four in football. Is there a different set of expectations?
For us, there is, yeah. I mean, absolutely.
If you make it Elite Eight every year, you're doing great in basketball, but you make Elite Eight in football year after year, and you're going to be out there at Texas State or something next year, the year after.
It's funny. I was talking to a Kentucky basketball fan, and they, you know, I was just messing with them, and I was going, your dynasty's over. Calipari's gone. He's on to Arkansas. Dynasty's over. And he was like, no, it's not. We're a blue blood. No, it's not. I was like, it's over. Y'all stink. Y'all got a 3 seed. That was awful. And he was like, he was getting mad. And I was like, I'm just kidding. Now you know what it feels like to be an Alabama football fan with people attacking you because you didn't make the top 8, right? You didn't make the playoffs, right? that, it's not over. It's just there's a transition going on, right? And so we'll see if this continues. Maybe it won't be as much as Saban. I hope it was, but we're at a different time in football as well, where being that type of dynasty just probably isn't going to happen again in general. So we're going to have to get a little bit used to it, because it's a different ball game, just like we're talking about NFL.
And it is, no doubt. It's completely different. I don't think a lot of the old guard fan base has accepted it yet. I get it. I see what's going on. Don't say I love it, but I get it. You got to play the game. But I heard some national guys, it's talking season. Josh, we do it too. Some national guys, well, what does DeBoer got to do to keep his job? Well, the consensus seems to be Greg Burns not firing Kalen DeBoer unless something happens off the field, or they have 3 or 4 games like they had against Oklahoma last year, maybe, but that's not going to happen. But maybe year 3, similar to Hugh Freeze this year, his 3rd year, you got to show something. You got to make progress. Does Alabama need to make the 12-team playoff this year? Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty good step in the right direction. If they don't, the Wolves are going to start howling if they don't make the postseason, which makes year 3 even more critical for Kalen DeBoer. So to me, to kind of ease the expectations, the anxiety, they got to improve. And I get the sense, Josh, similar to Saban, you get that first year behind you, you settle in, everybody knows what your style is, your coaching, your philosophy, and you get into year 2 and things are a little bit more positive, and you're seeing some signs that this team could be a winner.
Yeah, I think I completely agree there. I think the second year is the year of judgment, right? You've got to do it, right? If you make the playoffs, you're not on, like you said, you're not on the hot seat. You make the playoffs, you got a little bit more room. You don't, you're really on the hot seat. And what's interesting right now is we haven't had a 3 quarterback QB battle in a while, where no one really knows who's going to start. And, no one really has everyone has their opinion. We've never seen any of these guys play. Right. So, and to think we'd have a true freshman starting at Alabama is crazy. I just don't know no matter how talented he is, does he have the mental capacity to go and start? It's tough. It's tough. So, I am interested to see what that comes out as, because that's obviously a big decision. So DeBoer not only has to have a good year, he's got to make the right choice at quarterback, 3 options, and that's tough. So very interested to see. Once again, I'm a Mac guy, and I've said that from the beginning. I'm going to stick with him. I think just based off of Mac coming from Washington, following DeBoer, being part of his program, he was a highly touted recruit. He's looked pretty good. I really like him. I think he'd be our guy. I don't think I think he's probably second right now, but everything I read says there's really nobody, but you'd have to imagine that he'd be number 2 in line right now if they were to put something out.
I would think so. We referenced an article that Chris Lowe had at ESPN about Alabama's quarterbacks, and he mentioned that Austin Mack is a team favorite. His teammates really like him, for what that's worth. I wonder, though, Josh, how does Kalen DeBoer keep all 3 of these quarterbacks on the roster?
He doesn't. I don't think
that's an easy answer, I guess.
I think sorry. I think you keep 2, right? Because there's no way to keep 3 good quarterbacks, right? And so hopefully you have 2 that compete that are good. You're going to have to get rid of. You can keep the freshman. And you keep one of the other 2. And then someone else is going to leave, right? That's just the world that we're in now. You're not going to keep 3 star quarterbacks on a roster when you can go get paid somewhere else. You can go play. It used to be just you can go play somewhere else. Now you can go be paid to be the face of the team somewhere else and make a lot of money, even if you don't go pro. So I think you're going to keep 2, lose 1. I don't know if there is. I don't have an answer to keep all 3 unless you're just the greatest politicizer and motivator of all time. Maybe Saban could keep all 3. I don't know.
Thinking about that, to me, guys, what I've heard about Keelan Russell and what you just said about Austin Mack, been in the system, knows Grubb, knows DeBoer, teammates seem to love him. And hey, I love it that Ty Simpson hung around, paid his dues. But guy, if he couldn't beat somebody out in 2 years, is he really the best option right now? I mean, I hate to say that about the young man, but if you got to make the tough choices, I got to think if you got to cut one of them, or if you got one of them's got to go, I'm almost thinking it's got to be Ty Simpson.
I do too. I guess we'll go ahead and say it. I think that's the guy to cut if we need to cut somebody. Hopefully I'm eating my words and he's starting quarterback. And, but if you got to make a choice, I don't want to give you the choice. I gave you can't keep all three. Now I got to pick one, right? I can't just give you, I don't know.
So you make the choice and then you tell the driver to keep the cannoli. I mean, that's heartless. Goodness.
Appreciate you staying around, pal.
Ooh,
but you work real hard, and it's tough. It's a tough world out there.
I use Josh. It's the real world. It's real world experiences that you're going to have out there when you're fighting, scratching, and clawing in the business world. And sometimes,
wow,
it just doesn't go your way. But as we talk about it, I'm thinking about it, and Ty, hey, I respect you for hanging around as long as you did.
Right.
But you might be the odd man out.
Barry, you look shocked.
John says, I appreciate you for sticking around as long as you did. This is John's way of saying, hate it for you when he really doesn't.
And if,
basically John's saying, I don't know why you stuck it out as long as you did. I'd have gone somewhere else a long time ago, but the time has come, Ty.
And I'll take your call if you're trying to sell me insurance. How about that?
How about yeah. That's exactly right. Come see me if you've got timeshare or something like that. But
well, we just call it like we see it here on Longshore McKnight. Josh, as always, Josh, the money line magician Harris. Before we let you go, how's that money line been treating you?
What money line magician?
All right.
Here's the pick, though. Here's the pick before we leave.
All right.
Braves come back and win the NL East plus 360.
Boom.
Wait a minute.
Mark it down. We'll talk about it next week.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to win 360 on the Braves. Yeah, I'm writing that down. We're talking that.
To our producer, right click, save to Harris file, use later. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Braves NL East. I'm up here. I feel it. It will be all right.
There you go.
Okay.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you,
always, Josh. Appreciate you.
That's going to get the chat line going. Hey, Robbie, did you hear that? Braves to win the NL East and then get beat in the first round of the playoffs. But hey, it does happen.
It does.
Barry, when we get back, the Phantoms Daily Dog and Gurn Jr.'s Victoryland 777 topic wheel as well. So as we go to break, just think about this a little bit. Is that too harsh? We have not brought that up, but I got to tell you, Barry, if what I'm hearing, that Austin Mack, team favorite, Grubb and DeBoer, love the kid.
Has the locker room, kid
Keelan Russell, unbelievable talent. Even if Ty Simpson left, if Keelan Russell is, all he's cracked up to be, he ain't sitting behind Austin Mack.
Well, no. You've got to be careful with him because if he's generational, either A, you better get him out there as quickly as you can, or B, somebody is talking to him.
And let's face
it, an intermediary, right?
DeBoer knows it. I can't be screwing around this year. Loyalty and all that business, and these guys stuck with me last year. Caleb, let me give you a little advice. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You don't make friends that you might hurt a few feelings, but in the long run, you got to make the best decision for what's right for your program. And hey, you know it. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes, but he's going to have to make some tough decisions, I believe.
Yeah. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Correct.
That's the best way. Instead of just inching it off a little bit at a time. taking a couple of arm hairs with you. Halfway through the second live hour of the show, he's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Spring into savings at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, America's best-selling truck, the F-150. You can get every new 2024 at 2.9% APR for 72 months. How about an F-150 Lightning up to $15,000 off plus 0% for 75 months? The ever-popular Ford Bronco Sport as low as $25,990. The Ford Explorer, it started the SUV craze. An all-wheel drive with leather as low as $33,990. That's up to $8,000 off. $15,000 off Ford Expeditions. And what about the Ford Mustang? Starting as low as $29,990. And the all-new Ford Mavericks starting as low as $23,990 and no payment for 90 days. And don't forget about Stivers Ford's mobile service. Get serviced at your home or work anywhere near the river region. It's all at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where price sells cars.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. A refreshing alcohol-free brew that tastes like the real thing. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. About 29 minutes to the top of the hour. Don't forget, you can always check us out at Yellowhammer News, yellowhammernews.com. Check out the show there. There's a write-up each and every afternoon about what happened on the program live, and you can watch it anytime at your convenience.
Yep.
At YouTube, Facebook, on X, of course, a lot of it content on Instagram. You can listen to us on Spotify as well. So make sure you check all of those platforms out and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Helps us out, helps us bring you more content each and every day. Before we get to the Daily Dogberry, I think Steve has a very good chat entry today that I think a lot of people in college athletics feel similarly about.
And this is strong coming from Steve. We know Steve really well. Steve from Prattville. Dennis Mitchell. Oh, God, I love Dennis. Steve from Prattville says, NIL and the transfer portal has ruined college sports. No rules, no commitment, no consequences, no accountability, no team. I'm out. For Steve from Prattville to say he's out is a statement.
So, Steve, I'm with you. I get it. I think a lot of people, they don't like college athletics turning into minor league professional sports. I'm not even sure it's minor league. You saw it in the spring games. Certainly it was different, but people still like to come back to campus and walk around the quad and tailgate and just, absorb the college life and the college campus. Didn't seem to be a lot of interest in it in Tuscaloosa and in Auburn compared to years past. What's going to happen in the fall? Still think people are going to go. Will you see some empty seats from time to time? Probably so. I mean, the money that's required to buy seat licenses, tickets, transportation, parking, food, the whole deal. Are people losing interest? And it's a lot easier just to watch it on TV and let somebody else pay the tab for NIL or even new football facilities or whatever construction project is going on.
Well, by the way, the new North End Zone video board at Jordan-Hare Stadium looks like it's going to be pretty good. But what is the real overall value of the spring game? Troy with the T day, Auburn and Alabama with the A day. It's to keep the fans engaged. It's to get them on campus. At Auburn and Alabama, I'd be interested to know how many of those candlelight Friday dinners at midfield they had unsold. They had that were left unsold.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there were any spots in the locker room tours that went unsold. I wonder if they had enough people out there that bought the running the football out to the game officials before the game itself. If they had game officials in that one. It's the games themselves, the identification with football, the identification with spring football, getting 92,000 fans out there at one place for a spring football game. That's a target-rich environment for your fundraisers, right? And not just your athletic fundraisers, for your university fundraisers. Guys going out there, an old geezer comes back every year, and he loves what they've done with this and the new thing with that and everything. Hey, we're continuing to try to improve our student experience here. How about getting the checkbook out? Okay, well, all right, I'll do it. You're doing that a lot better with 92,000 on your campus than with 14,000, John. So,
no doubt.
And this is at a time where they need your money more than ever.
So,
and if you're not coming to campus in spring, they are losing out on one of their best non-football season chances to hit you up for some donation money.
Yeah. So Barry, I wonder, we talked about this last week. I'm not sure what's taking so long. You watch any NBA team, they've got a corporate logo on their jersey. I believe the Oklahoma City Thunder has Love's Truck Stop right here. I think the Lakers have some online betting service.
I want to say the Thunder is owned by the guy.
I think it is too. I'm with you. I think it is.
The Love's Truck Stop.
When are we going to see that in Auburn, in Tuscaloosa? A corporate logo on the jersey. What are they waiting on? When are we going to have naming rights on the stadium? Yeah, I know it's a mouthful, but Love's Truck Stop at Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saban Field.
Yeah. Or at Auburn, a little yellow patch that says Osmos. I'm saying not Osmos. Yellowwood on it. Or maybe on the upper left part of the jersey, you've got something like that.
That happening in Oregon or in Washington.
Yeah.
Washington, I guess. Yeah.
How much backlash would it take against something like that for you to think, oh, this is not worth it? I don't know how much money we're going to make out of this, but however much money we make, it's not going to be worth the backlash. Because for me, if I was athletics director and I'm a poor businessman, I'm thinking it would have to take a pretty dadgum lot of backlash for me to turn down the amount of money that they would be willing to pay to put the corporate logo on that jersey. I mean, they'd have to have pitchforks and torches at the front of Ford Hall. Or
all you people that are so dead set that they're not going to change the uniforms, get ready. It's coming. It's coming. Stadium naming rights, patches on the jerseys. Yeah, Chris, maybe Waffle House can expand their marketing and put it on Auburn's jerseys. That would be pretty good. Now that Malzahn's not there anymore, is that even still appropriate? I mean, does Freeze go to Waffle House?
That's not. See, I mean, there's a lot of people that go to Waffle House. I mean, people like Waffle House. John likes Waffle House.
I do like Waffle House. Yeah.
The problem with Malzahn was that he told people he liked to go to Waffle House. If Tuberville had not had ears that flared out, Terry Bowden was about maybe 5'10", maybe 5'11", and if Gus tried to keep it on the down low that he liked Waffle House, believe me, certain people would have thought of something to say. So it didn't. Chris, Hugh Freeze has got a burner phone or had a burner phone. Those things will live in.
I know what you're thinking, Chris. Maybe on the Auburn basketball uniforms, there can be a grill on the patch right here of a Weber grill,
or like Weber or Grillmaster or the Green Egg.
I get what you're saying, Chris.
Yeah.
I would think maybe the Buc-ee's logo. There's a Buc-ee's in Auburn, and that beaver with that little, put that patch on there. Matter of fact, I think one of my boys has a Buc-ee's sticker. I'll look forward to the next break. Yeah.
A Buc-ee's hoodie.
But it's coming. All right. Yeah. So before we go to the Phantoms Daily Dogberry, have we offended Dennis Mitchell? What's going on here?
Yeah, because he's had a couple of takes. I wish we could sift through them all and just search one or two, because he's got several of them down here. Dennis, lately in the last 10 minutes or so, he said, "Please acknowledge my comments. Thank you." Hey, why not? He says, okay. He says, John and Barry, Nico from Tennessee needs to get a life. True. All right. John and Barry, the system in college football and other sports are not good. Okay. Yeah, fine.
I said it better myself.
Dennis Mitchell, we are family.
We are family. Did a wrestler die? I want to say. Earlier.
That's why I kind of lost it, because he also said this immediately after the "We Are Family." He said, "Jimmy Hart is 81 years old." Number one, Jimmy Hart. Most people don't know. Number two, what does that have to do with anything? He's 81 years old. Okay,
is that Kevin Hart's father? Comedian? I doubt it, but just asking. I thought I'd throw it out there.
Of course, just now, please acknowledge my comments. Thank you.
Dennis, the only Lifetime Achievement Award winner here on this program, Dennis, you got it, my man. Sorry we were so slow.
No, that's Daniel. Daniel says, advertising patches. Let me make sure I get this right. Yeah, here, advertising patches. I can't get it to stay for some reason. I'll work on that. Advertising patches are on any uniforms are horrible. I don't even like the Quick-Crete patch on the Braves uniform, on the Braves jerseys. What a yellow eyesore. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
The Braves have got a concrete ad on their uniforms. Believe me, I know what people are snide. If you're snide, I've totally missed the point. Believe me, I work for a school whose nickname is the Trojans. People think it's funny to give us suggestions about what corporate logo Troy should have
that's
on
a
there. But Quick-Crete, you have a concrete company?
Yes.
On your uniform. Come on now.
I don't get that one.
I don't either.
I think in the NFL, they do wear patches in the preseason, but they don't during the regular season.
Yeah, I think you're right. And of course, one of the players was talking to me about this yesterday, because on that fateful walk up 18 with a one-stroke lead in the Masters, and this guy's a senior. I've known him for a while, and he asks good questions. And Jim Nance is already going into, Mom and Dad are watching. Tears in their eyes, I guess. Northern Ireland kid, all that kind of stuff. And they showed this. They had the camera with him as he's walking up with his caddy. Big old humongous golf bag, tailor made.
Oh yeah, sure.
He said, "Do you think he had to pay for that?" So, they paid him to have that. Whatever they paid Rory to carry the tailor made bag. He just made up, just in that 5 seconds of camera time, going up 18 with the Masters lead in Augusta.
Sure.
There's value.
You better believe it. No doubt about it. They love a guy. product placement. He's being shown. He's on the leaderboard. He's getting a lot of camera time. Those advertisers absolutely love it. Dennis, another real a question for you. Now, I'm going to ask Dennis a question. How about that? Dennis, a big wrestling fan. I wonder if Dennis is a UFC fan. The president is a big UFC fan. Trump was down in Miami at a fight Saturday night. I think some of his grandchildren went with him. I hadn't watched 5 minutes of a UFC fight in my life. Maybe I need to get into it. I know it's obviously very popular. I wonder if Dennis is a UFC fan.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Barry, sometimes there's just embarrassments in handicapping. And Friday was an example. Was an example. I just glanced at the score. If you want to look it up, you go. I think it was in the 40s. I just don't know the exact number. But we had the Pelicans at home, their last home series against the Miami Heat, catching 13.5. I think they ended up losing by 40-something.
Now, the final day of the NBA regular season was Sunday.
Yeah.
And the Pelicans are done. Yeah. Done.
This game was on Friday night.
This was maybe the worst season in Pelicans history.
Stuff.
Friday, Pelicans lose by 49 points.
49.
Final score at Smoothie King.
Yeah.
In downtown New Orleans at home. Heat 153 and the Pelicans 104.
Wow.
Obviously, with a 49-point win, I don't have to tell you this, but it wasn't like it was overtime or 2 overtimes or 5 overtimes. They scored 153 points in 48 minutes. Think about that. That is almost 3 points every minute.
I'm trying to get just a visual of what the last the last quarter, similar to an all-star game, no defense. I mean, what is the
Heat
coach
ain't all
say
that? Heat is 8 games under 500.
Yeah. I mean, what does the Pelicans coach say to the guys after the game's over? Well, let's get over that one. We got another game on Sunday.
And then we're done. We're out. I'm headed to the house.
I don't even know what they did on Sunday. I didn't even check the score.
10 Miami players scored in double figures. 10. That tied an NBA record that had not happened since 1994.
I can't imagine that the attendance was great. They only lost by 15 yesterday, Barry, as they wrapped up the regular season. They lost at home to the Oklahoma City Thunder by 15.
Ooh.
Man, they need their ping pong ball to drop in the NBA lottery so they can get Cooper Flag, but I don't see that happening. So anyway, we're going to move on today, Barry.
John's already pulling for Cooper Flag, and he's also, are you a Shedeur Sanders guy? He's got all these guys he wants to come to New Orleans.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so Barry, how about this? You ready?
All right.
This is exciting. This is probably going to surprise you a little bit. We have got, and you may have to help me with the pronunciations here. We have got Carlos Carrasco going up against Seth Lugo. Tonight.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. It is the Yankees hosting the Royals in Yankee Stadium. Lugo against Carrasco.
That's 6:05 tonight
on the Major League Baseball Network.
Right.
So you can watch it. Barry, we're taking the Royals plus 125 against the Yankees tonight in Major League Baseball. The Phantoms daily dog. I know what you're saying. Now, what do you mean? I'm putting up $100 to win 125 with the Kansas City Royals. Now, I don't need Lugo going out in the third inning. I need this guy to go at least 6 tonight for me.
Come on, Seth. Yeah. It's not exactly a couple of real stalwarts. I know the Yankees are defending AL champions, but they're like 8-7 this year. They've gone in the tank recently. Is this the very first Phantom Daily Dog in baseball?
It is. There'll be more. But Barry, I hate to tell you, might not. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a baseball tomorrow. You never know. But the NBA playoffs begin tomorrow.
Bum, bum, bum. Oh, it's that goofy play-in.
Whoa, Goofy. Whoa, wait a minute. Goofy.
Play-in. Are they really in the playoffs? If they are forcing a play-in game on us, I mean, are they really a playoff team?
I'm going to let you answer that question.
If they have a play-in, yeah. All right, yeah.
Turnabout. What do they say? Turnabout's fair play.
Fair play. Yes. Yes.
All right. I see the Victorland 777 topic wheel is loaded. When we get back, we're going to spin the wheel.
Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the River Bank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at River Bank and Trust. Locations throughout the River region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. Are with us here today. Let's get that Victorland 777 topic wheel loaded up.
Here we go.
See what we got for a big weekend, and let's spin it and see where it lands. Man, a lot of good topics today.
Good stuff today. Oh, thank gosh it didn't land on Volkanovski. Whew.
Yeah, really. Ain't no Rose. Yep, Justin Rose falling short as Rory McIlroy gets the green jacket put on him yesterday by Scotty Scheffler.
He finally gets to go to one of those dinners.
Yes, he does.
Or all of those dinners from here on.
What do you think they serve in Northern Ireland that he'll have on the menu at the Champions
dinner?
Oh,
it's like, bangers and mash or bubble and squeak or one of those crazy UK kind of dishes out there. If you ever want to hear my favorite thing about Northern Ireland, there is a program out. I think it's on Netflix or something, and it's called Dairy Girls.
Okay.
You got to check it out. DERRY, Dairy Girls. It's pretty hilarious, although very.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been an adult movie or something, but no, it's a comedy.
Well, it's got adult language, but
oh, sure. Yeah.
Good.
Well, what does nowadays?
No kidding.
Okay, let's spin it again. Man, if it lands on green, you're going to have to pronounce that one. Woo. Victorland 777 topic wheel where you can be a winner too. Oh, hey, I hope this is what I think it is, man. Oh, here we go. Nice.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, look at this. This is the NBA playoff bracket. And Barry, kind of turning his nose up on some of these, what they play in games, if you will. Look. But man, look at this bracket. This is going to be exciting.
Basically, the gist of it is, John already alluded to it. It starts tomorrow with the Eastern Conference play-in winner between the Hawks and the Magic, and the Western Conference play-in will be between the Grizzlies and the Warriors. They all get underway tomorrow night. Hawks Magic at 6:30 on TNT. Grizzlies Warriors at 9 o'clock on TNT. The winner of those play-in games, there's also, again, there's Wednesday too. The Eastern Conference playoff will have the Heat versus the Bulls and the Mavericks versus the Kings. The winner of those play-in games automatically becomes a 7 seed in the real playoffs.
Yeah.
And those real playoffs will begin on Saturday. So you got play-ins tomorrow, play-ins on Wednesday, Thursday,
beautiful.
Friday to travel or whatever. Saturday is when the true playoffs really begin.
What some people think.
Yeah.
But man, looking forward to a little. They ramp it up a little bit. Just watch Airplane. Kareem will tell you.
That's right.
Okay, Gern, let's spin it again.
We're doing
Great
all
topics
right
here today on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel, where you can be a winner to Exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Open 7 days a week, 24/7. Must be 21 years of age to enter. Franks and Beans. I've heard it, Beans and Franks. Franks and Beansbury go to the losing team at Alabama's A-Day, but I'm not sure they had a game.
Was there? I remember because I've done A-Day games on television at both Auburn and Alabama. Auburn doesn't do this necessarily, but Alabama, the winner of the A-Day game used to be rewarded famously that night with a steak dinner.
Correct.
The loser got what we call beanie weenies, Franks and Beans. All that. So I wonder if they still do that though. Oh, this is a Jordan Spieth thing. This is a Jordan Spieth reference, right? No, let's see.
Oh, I missed this. What did he say? Something about Beans and Franks?
Beans and Franks? I don't know.
Maybe because he didn't maybe have the Masters that he wanted, that he felt he had to go eat some.
I thought it was
Beans
about the A-Day game.
He did have a. Wait a minute. Here we go. Run that again. Let me see where his putter hit that guy. Oh boy, yeah, man. Twigs and berries. Well, we got all kind of stuff coming up. I've heard people reference it as twigs and berries before. I will tell you an interesting story about the Beans and Franks berry that year that I was one of the coaches for Alabama's A-Day. I was on the winning team, so I got to be a part of the steak dinner. The only problem is they wanted me to come up Monday night to have the steak dinner with them.
What?
I went, whoa, wait a minute.
I'm
up here on Saturday. Let's eat now.
Yeah.
I ain't back on Monday.
I can come back on Monday, but are you paying for my gas? Is there a parking pass?
Sure.
Okay.
Forget it.
All right. Yeah.
So I'm about to look that up with the Beans and Franks with Jordan. Hey, it can happen. You're walking around, the putter kind of gets out of whack, can hit you in some spots you don't want it to hit you. I've had that myself. Pulling the putter out of the bag has hit me in some spots. I wish.
Yep. I remember one time. Who was it? Spurrier at SEC Media Days. Somebody asked him about his golf game. This was off the record, so of course I want to say something about it.
Mm-hmm.
He said I hit 2 balls harder than I've ever hit on my round yesterday. Yeah, I stepped on a sand rake. Yeah.
Hey, you should have yelled 2. Okay, let's spin it again, Gern. What you got on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel? Let's spin her and see what comes up. Can we clear the board by 9 o'clock this morning? This could be awesome.
We can
Troy.
go Troy. Yeah.
Back home.
Yep, finally back home. Troy has won 9 straight series in baseball. They're back home because it's Easter weekend coming up. Then the series this weekend, 2 straight series at home at Riddle Pace, hallelujah, will begin Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week. Somebody can have Easter off.
Oh, yeah.
So ULM comes in. Louisiana Monroe comes in Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Also, this as well, to kind of get it on your calendar, because this happens quickly. It's within the month. The 2nd annual Jared Parker Golf Classic is at Wind Lakes Golf and Country Club on Monday, May 12th in Montgomery. 2 different flights, 8 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Registry is available online. The registration available online by visiting TroyTrojans.com/Parker Golf.
Awesome. Man, that's outstanding. Troy going to be home for a while. I know you're excited about that.
You got that right.
All right, let's spin it again. I think we can maybe get these 2 in.
Yeah,
you never know
do it.
what we got. Let's see what we have on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. on this Monday got ignored. Hey, I know the feeling. Woo.
This is not like the Glenn Close character in Fatal Attraction. This is what we were talking about earlier. After the match, when DeChambeau was limping to the finish, they got with him afterwards, and they said, hey, what was it like? John has already pointed out Rory was...
Did you speak to him in there? How's he doing? Do you know?
No idea. Didn't talk to me once all day.
Did you try and initiate conversation with Rory at all?
He wouldn't talk to me.
Wow.
Yeah. The whole 18 holes. Have you ever played 18 holes with somebody with zero conversation?
Barry,
I've been a little bit.
I have been accused of being the Rory McIlroy in that situation. I'm a better now, but back maybe when I was younger, maybe a little bit more competitive. I'm with my buddies. I'm with my friends. And we're playing, and I'll never forget one of my buddies goes, hey, man, you going to say anything? I mean, like, good shot or, man, good players. I said, look, man, I got a bet against you and this guy. I'm hoping you hit every one of them out of bounds.
We'll be friends afterwards, all right?
Why should I tell you good shot when I really don't mean it? I mean, it's kind of like hate it for you. I mean, if I tell somebody good shot and I'm playing against them and some money's on the line.
He knows you don't mean it.
Yeah. Well, don't you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not out there to chit chat. So maybe Bryson likes to chat a little bit.
Yeah.
You're not there to talk. All right, let's spin the last one because I'm just curious to know what this one's about because I don't want to have to try to pronounce what it is. So, Gern, spin it to make it official.
All right, here
what
we
do
go.
we got here?
I don't know who this is or what it's about, but it's Volkanovski. Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski, UFC. Volkanovski becomes the first fighter under 155 pounds to win a UFC championship over the age of 35.
There you have it.
Diego Lopez in Miami at the Casillas Center at UFC 314. 304 UFC events like that.
Wow. I understand Shaq greeted the president at that UFC event in Miami.
Yeah, Daniel pointed that out. Shaq greeted Trump. It was great.
You know what else I heard? That the fights were in Miami. Mar-a-Lago's in West Palm Beach, which is what? How far away?
An hour. North.
80 miles?
Yeah,
60
a
miles?
little bit more than an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. They flew Air Force One from Miami to West Palm Beach. Well, how much that cost flying that 747?
Well, I mean, like as opposed to what, a Viper Cub or something? He's the president,
I know, but I thought, really? They flew Air Force One just like 15
minutes?
minutes?
A limo with, with the police and the...
I'm sure they
flashing
probably flown
light.
shorter. Who knows? All right, Barry, tomorrow here on the program, Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com will join us. Travis Ryer on YouTube talking Tide with Travis. So looking forward to all of that tomorrow.
Yep. Our thanks to the Moneyline magician himself, Josh Harris, for joining us, the Phantom's Daily Dog, and more. For our producer, Gurren Jr., and for John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. In association with Yellowhammer News, it's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.